guys, welcome back to another Building Kashyyyk weekly segment. Guys, we are on week 8 already. It is just going, again, just absolutely fast with these episodes. Weeks are going by like as if they were days. But anyhow, in the last week, guys, I've made some pretty decent progress. Now, I haven't been able to fully take advantage of any of the area in the front with the Kashyyyk wall. That has not really been touched since last week, as well as the water here still sitting right here. I need to make definitely need to make a trip to the Lego store, purchase a lot more of these blue studs, maybe 2 entire boxfuls of them. The problem is just knowing whether my Lego store has them in stock or not. I have to make a few phone calls. My Lego store is actually not the closest to me. It's about an hour and a half away, but it's worth the trip, for something like this to save, $100, only $10 in gas there and a couple hours wasted. Perfectly fine with me. Well, anyhow, guys, if you can see behind me, 2 things have changed. One, you may see a little glimpse before we get right into it of the crane that I was finally got to building. But the second thing is my episode 3 poster all the way in the back. That was originally was there, if you go back a few episodes, was a dartboard that's been moved to another room. And I went ahead and actually got, you can't see it right now, but I'm looking right now at the Star Wars Episode 4 poster, and then across from it, the Episode 3 poster right there. And for those of you guys who don't know, Star Wars Episode 3 is my favorite Star Wars episode of the entire trilogy so far. There's still, Episodes 7, 8, and 9 to come in the years to come, but right now, the 6 that we do have, Episode 3 has been my favorite. Why? You have clone troopers. Hold on, I know, don't make me like a clone fan, but it really has a mix of everything to me. You have the clone troopers, which are just some of my favorite characters. I don't know why. I always loved them. But I also love Darth Vader, and I also really liked Anakin Skywalker. So I like both of those characters, as well as Obi-Wan Younger. Always enjoyed him. And then you also get a lot of that evilness that you got from the original trilogy with the Emperor, finally making his way into Episode 3, and a lot of evil that really comes between like Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. A lot of that evil between those 2 episodes, it has that in Episode 3. So that's why I like Episode 3 the most. Sorry about my little Star Wars rampage right there. Not really a rampage, but rant. I just love Star Wars Episode 3. It's my favorite. And yeah. Right, so guys, back to the Building Kashyyyk. Of course, it makes sense to have the Episode 3 poster there because Kashyyyk is only in Episode 3, so perfect logic to have it right there. Alright guys, so we're actually getting right into the back here. A lot of my focus was in the back of the base this week. And then over the next week, I plan on definitely getting up in here. Also, again, more BrickLink orders have arrived. I got 2 more BrickLink orders that came in. A lot of them I ordered internationally, so they're going to take 2 weeks to come in. So probably by next week, I should have most of the BrickLink orders come in, and we'll do some more in-depth on that. So guys, without ado, let's get right into this segment, and we're actually going to take a look right at the parts right now. Alright guys, so let's take a look at the BrickLink order that came in this week. So here it is. It's not nearly as much as last week's, but it's pretty good actually with the different part variations and colors that we got. So here, as you can see, just a bunch of different tiles. Got some sand green in there, dark brown and reddish brown. Right here, just an entire bag full of dark tan plates. Remember how I said it's going to go from dark tan to light tan to olive green to sand green, or actually, sand green's a lighter color, so it might go from sand green to either dark green or the olive green, probably olive green. So anyhow, so this is basically what's going right here because the sand is all soaking wet from the water. If you just have dry sand right next to water, that doesn't make much sense. Anyhow, I got some more of these pieces. That's why there's a lot of dark tan plates right here. So they'll be going all the way right here. Alright, then right here, guys, some olive green, some more tan plates.
Really good part variation actually. A lot of these olive green cheese slips is what they're called, but they're actually 1x1 slips is the correct name. Those would be very useful. I have a pretty good idea for the use of those. And then this bag was actually filled a bit higher with these pieces in dark gray, but they've actually already been used over there, and we'll show in detail just a bit of how I've already started using these. So this is actually, I think this is 2 BrickLink orders right here. There's still like 5 more in the way. Just taking time to get them. Also, if you guys are wondering what's up with these funky things right here, this is a simple way. If you have a lot of plates and you don't have bins to store them, this is a simple organization way of taking your plates, and if you just stack them up like this, it takes way less space. Now, if you do it this way, what's great about it is it's easy to take them apart. If you just stack them one by one on each, you're going to have a nightmare there on trying to separate those. So it's just a simple little storage way. I did that with some tan pieces over here as well. But yeah, Kashyyyk wall, nothing has been too big on it. Part of the reason is I need to order 1x3 bricks and tiles. I just ran right through them just doing this little section right here, and those 1x3s are really key for like the back right there, so I need those before I can continue the Kashyyyk wall. But that's alright, we can put that on hold, no rush on that for like a week or two. But what the big focus is right over here, so let's get right into that. Alright, so I was pretty happy with how this came out. This took me pretty much I think a total of like 6 hours working, just a lot of experimenting. I had to destroy this like twice. But came out with something pretty good. Now this isn't final, of course. There's still more detail to be added, but this is a great, I guess you could say, rough draft to be edited of the crane. So what I'm talking about is if we look at this picture right here, it's pretty much exactly, it's literally coming off the page right there, and almost exactly how I wanted it to be. Looking very sweet, and a lot of you guys said I widened it so the gunship perfectly fits between this perfectly. So it's perfectly widened so the gunship can fully, off. Now another cool thing is that while I was experimenting, I actually thought it was kind of cool when you turn the gunship sideways, but just a little thing I thought would be kind of cool. But right, so this is this work in progress crane over the gunship. Very cool looking, but we're actually going to remove the gunship so we can take a better look at everything. All right. So got my light right here. Very blinding. It's an LED light. It's expensive, but it's worth it because it's just good quality. Right, so here is what I've done. Underneath here, a lot more detail than you might think in these little things right here. I might eventually make this like a hallway type of thing. I don't know yet, to get out to these areas to the gunship, or maybe make a stairway or something maybe to come out here. We'll see what happens with that. But this is what I have so far. I've chosen not to fully cover the base. I have enough these plates right here, these 6x6 plates. Very expensive now. They were on Lego.com for a short period of time, and I bought like 1,000 of them because they were so cheap. You should always question. There's 2x4 tiles, there's 6x6 tiles, and there's your regular over there. 2x2 tiles. So you always, when you're looking at BrickLink prices, and you're looking at BrickLink prices, you're looking at Lego.com prices, you want to say, okay, and this is only if you're covering an area with tiles. If, for example, say the 2x2 tile is only 5 cents each, and the 2x4 tile is 15 cents each. 2 of those 2x2 tiles will equal the same amount of space this 2x4 tile will equal, for 5 cents less. And that's actually going to make I know it sounds small, but when it starts adding up, it really makes a difference. So that's what I mean, like catch things like that. So for example, these plates right here, you know, say this plate is 50 cents. It would take 9 2x2 plates to cover the amount of this one plate right here covers. So going back to say, let's say the 2x2 plates are 10 cents each. So it would take 90 cents worth of 2x2 plates to cover the amount of space this 6x6 plate covers. So this plate, like I said, only costs, and this is all made up numbers, let's say that plate costs 60 cents. You're saving 30 cents by using this plate instead of a bunch of the 2x2 plates. So that's what I mean. Like, think about covering the space for a cheaper price. That's actually how the same sort of mathematics for that actually goes into building houses and building projects, like maybe if you're building like a shed or something. Those, you know, using wood is like the same thing of using Lego plates. That's how I actually know that type of method, but it's also an obvious method if you think about it. It kind of makes sense if you think about it that way. Right, so sorry about the little math lecture type of thing there, but I'm just trying to get it, save all you guys some money there. Anyhow, the crane, pretty cool looking. What's up with these like tube things? There's nothing up with them. They're just there for, I was playing around. I was like, hey, well, what happens if I just, you know, put some tubing in here? And this is what happened. So they're just regular tubes. They're actually the tubes you get for air pressure type things on the Technic sets. I bought a bunch back a while ago for my Halo stop motion video for some of the sets for that, and I had some extra, so I put it to use on the crane. Now, obviously the crane clamp or whatever is going to be right here has not been built. I'll build that eventually. I'm not whether sure I should add more detail on the top here. I actually think it just looked kind of cool if it stays like that. Don't know why, I just think it looks pretty neat and nifty. Now, so something I learned when I was building this crane, once I had both of the tower things that move, once I had those built, I quickly noticed when I put this top thing right here on that this kind of just basically slanted so much that it would not stay. So that's what this kind of block thing right here does. What this is doing is it's basically, because these things right here are put together using Technic pins that go in right here and go on the top. So this is all Technic put together. You don't want to ever, when you're building something tall like this, high and tall, you want to use Technic bricks when possible, because Technic bricks will not slant as much as if I had bricks going across here. It's going to slant and it's going to be a lot less sturdy. So that's the use of Technic bricks and Technic pins. They help a lot. And then right here, basically this entire like section right here has been filled up, and there's been Technic pieces right here to connect right here, and I lined it up enough so it equals the exact just using lighter color bricks. So that's basically how the crane works, and then right here it's sturdy enough that I can actually pick up the whole thing. So the power behind Technic bricks, and then it just slides right in here. The alignment, I was when I built the crane and I found out these two things were too far away from each other, I was like, oh crap, because then I had to take all of this apart, move it down just by like 2 studs. Like just going from here makes the entire difference on this crane. So a lot of work was put into this. Right, so anyhow, clearing off the space here, what I have built right here is just something, you know, just built from the scrap. Looks pretty decent actually. Kind of almost how, again, what it looked like on this picture. And then if you saw the slope right there, the little sloping angle, I already started to build that right here. Looking pretty cool actually. So it's looking like it just came off the picture, or the page. But anyhow, very cool. Like I said, these things right here have a lot of detail in here. I might make them hallways or something like that. So that's the crane area. It's still a work in progress, but it is definitely looking like something is going on here really good. I'm really happy with how it looks so far. Alright, so moving on. The second and last thing I want to show this segment, guys, is this hallway idea I had. So in my original design over here, you have the crane area, and the crane will not just be from here to here, it will also go all the way down here. So just ignore how this is like a bump right here. Just ignore the fact that it stops right here, because it'll go down here eventually. But anyhow, just gotta fix this. Alright, don't wanna. Alright, cool. I'll fix it later. Anyhow, so I had this idea. So you have all this open area that's gonna be like 6 bricks high right there. So you have all this open area, and it's like, wait a second, why don't I put some hallways and like all of this, like maybe like a medic center and maybe like a arsenal and maybe like, you know, like a place for the clones to relax or something. I don't know. An engine room. You know, all of these like sparks of ideas came to me, and let's like maybe it'd be like so basically from here all the way to that line right there with my fingers pointing. And it's going to continue all the way right there to here. So all of this could be 6 bricks high, enough for a hallway like this. Now this will be, in order for this to work, this will have to be raised, obviously, but that won't be too hard, trust me. But anyhow, the hallway idea, the hallways like going over to different giant rooms here and here and here. I could actually kind of see it. I'm probably gonna have to draw it out, but it's a pretty nifty idea if I do say myself. Now, because all of those hallways will be covered like this. Just imagine this covered in all of these hallways right here. These hallways get dark, and at least for the hallways that you can see from the edges right here, I'm considering the idea of lighting them up. Now, what I'm using right here is not actually life lights, which is probably the only lighting source you've heard of, if you've heard of any Lego lighting sources. But I'm actually using a new guy who kind of came out in the market last year. His name is Brix. I think that's the name, and he just makes lights by himself. And what's nice about his lights is this is the little tiny string or a wire that goes into these lights right here that light these things up. And now I have it on both sides, on each side right there, and I'll show you the specs of it here in a second. But if we turn it on over here, I basically just have you can get the USB to light source right here to make this all work. But if I just turn this on, then it just instantly brightens up the hallway. That's the lights off, lights on. So with the lights on, now this is just like your regular soft yellow light. I can change the colors by changing, I'm just using clear bricks. If I put it like maybe a blue brick on, then I can change the colors. Maybe it makes sense to have the lights red because, it's in a lockdown, but also have a mix of white light and blue light to make it change up the things. But anyhow, focusing on the hallway by itself, I have a little clone trooper in there. I built this little hallway kind of fast. I don't know if this will be a final design or anything, but it's a little knick-knack thing I was just put together pretty fast to test the idea. Now another cool thing is because the bricks go through the wall, this area will be lit up through this right here all the way down that way up at night. So I can use the lights on both sides for this. But for other parts, I'm just going to, let's say there's another hallway right here, exact hallway right here. Then I'm going to have to always have one brick in between for the wires to run everywhere. So yeah. So what do you guys think of this idea? Now, taking off this really crappy roof that I made pretty fast. It works pretty nice though, it can stick pretty good, and it's attached, and then I can take it off pretty easily. But anyhow, here's what I have so far, and also this plate, easy removable too. So we can just see what I have going on here. There's a nice little view of the clone trooper. But anyhow, I basically have these bricks right here. And the way these lights are kind of crazy looking, actually. If you take them off, this little tiny square, I don't know if you can tell, this little tiny square is this extreme bright light. It looks like I'm holding light in my hand in the camera, but if you see it, like it's like extremely bright. Like, as you can see, it really brightens things up quite a bit. So these little tiny lights are very powerful, so I don't have to have too many of them. And then what's great about them, there's my brick, is these little squares that the brick stuff is made for these lights, is they can fit very easily into the Legos. And because of this very thin wire, I can just take the brick and just literally snap it right on there without the wire breaking, and the Lego is perfectly symmetric with the thing because the wire is so thin that it does that. See, when I put this tile down right here, it's perfectly aligned, which is great. As you can see, that is a flush line right there, so that's the benefit of using these really awesome thin wires. Very cool. But anyhow, let me know in the comments, guys, do you think this is a cool idea, having all these hallways lit up like this? It's an expensive idea. These lights are not cheap. I think it was $20 for 4 lights right here. I'm going to have to talk to the guy, see if I can, if I buy bulk quantity, can I get a discount? But if I do go for the idea, what do you guys think of it? Now, there'd be like giant hallways and different sized hallways all over the place to fill in that empty space that's going to be under this area. And this entire area is where like loading stuff is going to be. Like this said, this giant crane is going to come over this way. I know it's kind of a mess right now, but that's what you get when you're building Legos. You're just constantly experimenting with different pieces. But anyhow, that's what I have in mind. Just a little idea I was just experimenting with. You guys, let me know if you think it's a cool idea. It'll be a great way to introduce lights into this mock. But yeah, pretty cool. And what's great is I can just flip this off and the lights are off like they're nothing. And I'll wire it, if I do go with the light idea, I'll wire it a special way so like different connections go to different places. But yeah. Alright guys, so this has been a pretty long segment. I'm going to end it now. A lot of great details, a lot of great things we went through, a lot of great awesome stuff. So like I said, stay subscribed to the channel, guys, if you want to see more stuff like this. And let's end it out with the outro, guys.
Alright everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. We got a real great in-depth look at the crane. Really happy with how it's looking so far. It's not nearly finished, definitely a work in progress, but it is progress, really good progress, not little progress. So yeah, and then also taking a look at the BrickLink orders that came in this week. A lot of like olive green, really good sand colors. Definitely get started on the beach and a little bit of the forest area. Now, something I actually want to get started is the front of the base right here, sort of, right about from here all the way to the end. Not the mountain part right here, but the actual like face of the base. I want to get started on that. So, and I have the parts to do it. It's going to be gray, dark gray, black, Republic red, regular red, and maybe some other colors that might mix in to make it look better. But that's the color scheme I want to go on, and then around that wall the wall's not going to be like a straight wall. It's going to have a lot of detail and such on it, but it's also going to have some plant coverings over it to make it look more blendable with the Kashyyyk environment. If a giant base just stood out, then the droids would just automatically focus fire on that. So the base needs to be sort of hidden, but when you get close to it, you can tell it's the entrance to a base. So I'm probably actually going to get started on that here pretty soon we'll see where I want to go, whether I want to start in the mountains, whether I want to get more on the beach started, or whether I want to just stick in the back. We'll just have to, you guys will just have to find out what happens till next week's episode. It's just, whatever I think will suit best with the parts I have available, as well as kind of what I'm in the mood for to build. There's all kinds of different parts of the base to build, but yeah. Also, lighting. Lighting was really cool. I told you guys early in these segments that I was actually going to get into lighting, and with my idea of doing the whole all these little hallways with lights in them. It's an expensive idea, but if it can be done for a cheaper price, if I can figure out some other ways, and then that might be a really great option, because having that underground part will give us some real extreme details, like you can have that medic facility as well as the clone bunkers. You can have a weapons arsenal, all kinds of really cool rooms you can make with that extra little detail. Now obviously it won't be seen from the overview of the base, but I think it's a really great addition to have for little added detail. Plus, a lot of the base more or less is going to have its grays and of course the dark reds for Republic, but we want to get some other color range in there. So, using some whites and some other, might be differentiating, colors might be really good for the hallways and such. Definitely a white, kind of almost looking like the inside of the Tantive IV type of look is what I might go for. Might be cool. But yeah, I'm going to leave it off on that, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something from this episode or segment. Episode, segment, same thing. Stay tuned for next week's episode, guys. There's many segments to go. As you can see, we're still building, and we have a lot more building to do in the future. So stay subscribed. If you haven't already subscribed, then hit that button right below. Like this video, always helps. And comment, what do you guys think? What should I do? Any ideas? Maybe the lighting idea. Maybe I should take that lighting out. You like the idea of the lighting? Let me know. Comment. And that's going to do it, guys. So I appreciate it. You have a great day, and I'll see you guys next week's segment. Bye-bye.